So according to the American Psychological Association, we rapidly switch tasks. When we rapidly switch tasks, things as simple as email, Slack, team questions, putting out small fires, and clinical treatment, because you guys know, every single person in here that still does clinical treatment knows that they're putting out fires and answering questions and answering emails and answering texts and watching YouTube videos while they're seeing patients simultaneously. Can anybody in this room claim that they don't do that? Raise your hand if you never do that and you're solely focused on clinical treatment. Okay. So this could potentially be leading to a little bit of overwhelm. So the brain must restart context each time we shift focus, which leads to microfragmentation of attention. Each context switch creates cognitive residue, small lingering thoughts about the unfinished task. Over the day, this residue accumulates and creates mental and physical fatigue. And then finally, cognitive load theory. This is John Sweller. Our working memory has limits, a lot like open loops. When we overload it with too many simultaneous inputs, again, human resources, humans, clinical issues, practice management issues, our ability to solve complex problems collapses. This is called cognitive saturation. Too much going on, we lose the ability to process. This phenomenon occurs when the needs of the business have evolved beyond the existing infrastructure and the mental capacity of a single operator. When leaders intentionally reduce cognitive load through systemization, delegation, elimination, and priority filtering, performance and outcomes improve because they're no longer exceeding biological limits. Okay, so if you're constantly fielding questions all day long, if people on your team kind of tiptoe into your office with a little light knock, can I just borrow you for a minute? And they take this gigantic monkey and they throw it on your back and then run out, that is a lack of effective systemization. So we need to find out a way to filter our priorities better and to get people to think for themselves, empower them to make small decisions. It's interesting, when we talk about empowerment, just to give a monetary example, everybody in my organization has the ability to make a monetary decision based on their position. Some people have a $250 limit for decisions that they can make. Kay has a $10,000 limit. Anything that she deems appropriate under $10,000, Kay can make that decision. And what that does is it eliminates a huge chunk of things that people need to ask me throughout the day. And sometimes do they get it wrong? Yeah. Sometimes do I get it wrong? Yeah. So I'm okay with that because the mental bandwidth that I recognize that is taking place by making these tiny decisions all day long is cumulative. So I would rather pay the $250 for a mistake that they made over something than to have that cognitive residue all day long. So how could you guys structure things differently so that small problems don't all come back to you? One of the happiest days of my life happened when the girls were like, okay, let's start having end of week kind of summary meetings. All right, we'll do it on Thursday afternoon. And they'll come to me and they'll say, hey, listen, here are some issues that came up. This vendor wanted this. We took care of it. We made this decision. Are you cool with that? This happened with this particular bank. There was this fee. We decided to pay for it instead of get our lawyers involved. We made that decision without, and so instead of me making all of these decisions all day long on things from $250 to $10,000, they now take care of all of those things. It's an incredible, incredible system. Now, I mean, have we made missteps? Most definitely. Can you start with a lower threshold, maybe $100 to $1,000? Yeah. But if you can restructure things so that, and recognize the amount of toll that it's taking on your subconscious and your overall cognitive load, if you could recognize that, restructuring things subtly can make a huge difference.